Okay, so we missed a little bit. I think we missed the last hour. We missed kind of a lot today, just because we've been having some work, getting some work done at the house. So kind of been missing these things. But I think the last time we did one was at 2 o'clock, and we were saying that we kind of put in this high two kind of situation, right? We had this here, and we had this high one being like right here. I didn't really like it. I kind of posted in the end of that I didn't really like because it kind of wasn't a good break of the trend line here. This one we had a break of the trend line. This one not really. Oops. This one is actually the high one of this move. Um, so probably really we were waiting for this one right here. The crazy thing is what's going on here with these headphones, with this microphone? The crazy thing is neither of them actually triggered. Um, we never went above this line, and when we approached it and we tried to put in this line, we never went above that afterwards. So I actually got a little bit greedy and a little bit maybe early. I kind of looked at this as a probably like a buy zone, buy territory that we tried to push twice out of, and I ended up buying on this candle as we were kind of coming back down. Um, Normally I wait to until we get the confirmation. So I had a little more than half of my position waiting on a buy stop above this bar. And actually I put it above this bar since they were so close. I put it at 320 thereabouts. So that if we broke up above it, I would fill majority of my position. And I took a very small size in this area just because it was at 136, 63, 136 was the price, and my stop was just under this candle, right at 63,000. Um, Here, this is a different IC. This is a totally different exchange. Anyway, I put my majority of my buy right above this candle, and then my stop right underneath this candle, and the stop was like 0.2% away. So I was like, yeah, let's just put some on. It's fine. And ended up getting stopped out, obviously, and that's okay. Now we're just waiting for a better signal. Oops, let's not do that. Now we're just waiting for a better signal. We kind of have this parallel channel still being respected to an extent. So like that, you know. So that's not looking, it's at this point we've pushed so far down this way that I think probably we're looking to close our long somewhere around here when we get a pop up that way. Is it possible that we could just continue down here? I theoretically suppose so if this trend starts to accelerate. Um, and you know, these candles are starting to get larger and larger. This one getting bigger, this one getting bigger, and obviously rejecting this area. I think anybody that was considering the same setup that I was considering of a long and tapped in early to grab a long will have been stopped out here. So currently there should not really be bulls in the market like that, I would think. Not too many of them anyway. New bulls, that is. I think those looking for buys are waiting to get filled a little bit lower. And this selling is just going to be all the bulls who have been buying in this area and realizing that it's not really happening right now. Because this level right here below this candle was below all of this. So if they didn't get stopped out on this because they had their stop here or here or something like that, certainly everybody's out by this point. Um, And yeah, all of this should just be bulls selling out of their positions, shorts adding on to their positions, knowing that the only buy signal that bulls have had all day has failed. And yeah, I think we should see a little bit of continuation down further. I wouldn't think it was too unreasonable if we broke out of this channel and maybe broke back in. Not sure, but I wouldn't be surprised to see us break out of the channel just because um, at this point, with all bulls out and seeing the trend start to accelerate, it's not out of the question at all. So that's kind of what I'm looking at. Maybe for the course of this next hour, if we take a look at this 4-hour candle, it's just, you know, not pretty, but this 4-hour candle should end as the daily candle begins, as the next daily candle opens. So, you know, I would expect probably after this candle, which will be the sell signal on the high time frame sell signal for bears, to take a short underneath this candle. And when it's this strong, you know, it looks like pretty decent. But I think I'm gonna guess that our next candle breaks up towards 63 and a half, possibly 64 area. I'm not saying that we're going to take out these highs necessarily, but I think that the next candle, this has been a significant amount of selling that we may want to try and find a way to round off a bottom here and then take a shot at the highs again. So it's kind of what I'm looking at right now. I'm no longer looking for longs at this time. I am just going to chill. I still have my long open from right around 62,000. And the long that I took in this area, I stopped out of, but I've still kept this one open. I'm not sure what my stop on that is right now. I don't really have much of a stop. Like I could put it at a break-even stop, but I really do feel like once we break out of this channel, we should take a shot at the high 63s, mid to high 63s again. So I'm going to be wanting to take that. I'm going to be wanting to hold out to take profit there. And at this point, we're kind of looking at, let's assume that we're here. And if my target is like, let's say 63.7, my break-even stop is still not too bad. Let me clear this out of here. Oops. Let me clear this out of here. If my break-even stop is right here at 62,000, still have decent risk to reward to stay in this trade. Of course, as we get lower and lower and lower, our trade ratio looks better and better. But the point is that if I'm not out at this point, it doesn't really make as much sense, just based on the risk to reward of the trade to close out my trade right now. So I probably should have taken some profit up in this region, but you know, we will when we get a better opportunity. I mean, even if I took profit in this region, I probably wouldn't be buying back down here, except for the attempt that I made. So we'll wait to see what type of bullish action comes down the pipeline. And yeah, I mean, I still think that we're looking at, you know, pretty decent chart here. Obviously, like we said, it's not concerning necessarily, but you know, maybe a little bit nervous about, you know, the next candle just coming right back into this range. But right now we're kind of retesting the top of this range, and you know, hopefully we'll stay on the upper side of it and continue our ascent towards 65, 66K. All right, now.